All right, I'm back, and we're gonna go and try to finish the coding of this thing. Not tonight though, but we're gonna try to get closer to it. Here we're gonna focus on this today, the GuessRow. Just to remind everybody, we've implemented the letter. If I do Swift test, I think filter letter tests, this will run the tests for the letter, and these tests look good. So I think we're okay with running the I think we're okay with implementing this, the GuessRow, which will oblige us to play with an array. And I'm gonna continue to work inside of the command line, but I also realize I gotta kind of move it over, just move it over here like this. So these screenshots, yeah, something like that, so you can see the if I show my image up here. And yeah, so this GuessRow contains 5 letters, and it'll have a function to calculate the state of each of the 5 letters given a 5-letter guess and a 5-letter correct word. So what that means is that we're going to have to make a class that deals with just this part of the functionality, which is the row itself. And when you think about it, this is, and I updated the, where's the thing here? I updated it with some pictures so you could see what we're going for. We're going to have a row of 5 letters, and we're going to try to make it look like this. So to do that, we're going to use an array, and the best way to do that is just to make one in here. And I'm going to make this class, what do we say, GuessRow. So we're going to make this new file called a GuessRow. And I'm going to save this file, and we're also going to make some tests. GuessRow tests. So we're going to do it a little bit different. Just do everything at once. And yeah, so that's in there now, and that'll be all that we look at for the time being. We're going to go do the editing in the command line, and maybe we'll come back to the Xcode. One of the things I'm learning about is that when I'm streaming, I may have a hardware capability to do the streaming. I don't know how good it works. I mentioned before I have an older Mac, so let's see. Yeah, so this is definitely, it's 10 years old. And I might try to crank up the memory at some point. But so we're not going to be in here too much, but won't be far from our thoughts. If I do git status, we have these new file. I'm just going to commit these right away. I'm going to say yeah, and so this will be our first commit for tonight, and we're gonna now start to adding code. I'm gonna say hello into the chat. I do the chat thing just in case people are there. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is look at what I've done before. Yeah, yeah, so one of the things that I did yesterday, and I'll go do this now, is that oh brother, oh wow, look at that. I made a mistake already. I added this file, but I forgot to rename it. It just named it file. So I'm gonna do a git move sources Wordle. This is gonna rename the file to GuessRow. Yep. Names file. So this is a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to go and adjust this. We're going to get rid of some of the boilerplate from these things. So let's just do that real quick. Both of these in here. I'm just removing the boilerplate. Or it's not really quite boilerplate, but it's pre-added. What did I say before? Yeah, there you go. Now, one of the things that I noticed while looking at Xcode this morning was that there's these the repository here. You could see that if I click on main, it shows the updates. Oh, so now here it's caught up. That's a surprise because it didn't seem to catch up yesterday. So anyway, I was going to point out that this sort of competed with this. If you click on this, you also get a listing. You do last 24 hours, and you can sort of see the activity. This up arrow 3 says that I'm ahead of what is in the remote. So if I click on the remote, origin, main, this shows that it shows this from yesterday, and I apologize, I didn't make that commit on the screen. but I did do it yesterday. If I click on it, you can see it tried to format this. Actually, but we are look at these history here. Yeah, it does look good. When you add in a git commit message, if you put 4 spaces, it's generally this signal in Markdown to surround the text with the pre tag. Just a small thing, but in here it looks like git log yeah, see how I put a space there, 4, and in GitHub Markdown it does a little bit of formatting, and that makes it look nice compared to other commit messages. I don't have anywhere let me see if I can find one. No, that also has 4 messages, 4 spaces. Just look at it here, might be faster. Yeah, adds initial files from Swift package. So the very first one. Always wondered in Git, there's no super easy way. Oh, here. Yeah. Well, maybe it doesn't change it as much as I thought it would. Okay. Let's go and start coding. I was trying to make a point about GitHub and Markdown, but clearly I don't have it. We're gonna need to mess around with Swift collections, which is just another way of collections. It's a word that you'll hear a lot with other computer languages. It encompasses things like arrays, sets, and in this case a dictionary. I think in Python they call these just data structures, I think. But in Java it's also called collections. So it's an important concept. Arrays are fundamental in computer programming, and we're going to have an array of these, and we just create it using this. What's inside of the guess row is the guess. So here we put guessLetters, for example, and it's going to be of type letter, and we're going to initialize it to nothing. That's important to know, that we initialize it to nothing. And I'm going to start doing a Swift test filter GuessRow tests. There won't be any because it's empty, that file, but it should build the project, and we can at least catch any of the errors that we would have caught if we were using Xcode, if my machine were fast enough. Just adjust the can't find letter, huh? I think think what I need to do is wow, I'm a little confused because oh, GuessRow tests. Yeah, it's only complaining about GuessRow tests. That's because I didn't do this. Wow, I'm already messing up. This is the wrong class. This is the test class. So I'm gonna remove this line, switch over to the other file, and do right there. We're gonna make a class called GuessRow, and close this up. And I do believe I'm gonna need to add the project in here. Import Wordle CLI, I think. Let's see what happens. This may be better, maybe worse. Whoa. Yeah, no matching test. GuessRow tests. Oh wow, that's funny. It built it properly. There's no errors here, but I think I missed GuessRow tests. Oh, there are no matching tests. Yeah, because that's right, because there are no tests. Okay, so so we have this GuessRow. So we'll just make the initial test, and we'll just make it easy on ourselves. We'll just look at an existing test. For that, we'll use Xcode, and hopefully it'll won't have any problems. Okay, I'm going to say var row GuessRow equal GuessRow. I think that'll work. Let me see what I have here. Let's see if this builds. Cannot find GuessRow in the scope. So now Wordle. I wonder if it's because I didn't. Let me do Swift build. Yeah, that built. confused by this. I'm just looking at my previous. Oh boy, I'm looking at the other code, and I'll just share with you what the problem is. You may be able to guess, because it got me before. Access control. We need to make this be. We need to make this class public. GuessLetters can remain private. So now let's see what this does. Okay, good. I can't access the initializer because it's internal. Remember, the access level is it's something you have to consider in Swift. Something I don't have to consider in other languages that I use. Yeah, so you need to pay attention to this, and yeah, this is sort of what we're doing. We're developing a framework, so we need to make things public. This is what we have to do here, and then same thing with the init. I think if I search for init, let me do that. Nope. 1, 2. I think that I move off of this page already. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, less than or equal to the type that they initialize. So we're initializing a GuessRow, which is public. So it can be less than public, but we need it to be public. Yeah, so, yeah, I think, I was thinking about this today, how when I was in school, we spent a lot of time learning the languages that we were asked to do our assignments in. And in school, it was predominantly C, the computer language C. Freshman year, I learned Pascal, but I learned that also in high school in the same rigorous way. Let's learn with like a baby. We'll learn very simple words until all of a sudden they're being very expressive in how they want to borrow the car. So I'm doing it differently in this YouTube. I know how to program. I know the common things that you need to do to tell the computer to do something in higher level languages, but I'm not really bothering to learn the syntax or the structure of the language, things like this. And there's a resource that I was reading about on I think it was like 100 Days to Swift. Let's see. I think this might be it. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 100 Days of SwiftUI. I'm going to promote this. Even though I have not watched a single video by this instructor, I'm tempted to dive into it, just to learn the language a little better than just the way I'm doing it, which is just hunting and pecking. So just something to consider. I'm going to put him right up here, right into the chat. And I'm just going to copy what I did in the letter class. It's going to take is the guess, and it's going to make the letters. That's important. The game loop will not create 5 letters and then give them to the guess, although I guess that's one way it could do it. I'll have to think about that. Well, no, what they're going to do is they're going to enter a string, and that's what's going to be put into the guess row. So we're going to put here something like now it's interesting because I have here the argument, but I have here I think the parameter, I think it was called, but the argument label is here. And I'm going to put here, right. And let's see if this at least builds now. Doing it slowly, but again, a little bit of the blind leading the blind if you don't know Swift. But this is what I would be doing if the camera wasn't on. I'd be messing around like this. There you go. It's missing the argument for the parameter guess. So now I'm going to put that into here. And it's a string, so I'm going to say hello. So let's see what this does. There you go. So we're going to commit this right now because we have something that works, but with a warning, and that worked. So we're just going to quickly scope out what we did. We created the beginnings of the GuessRow class with the initializer, and we created the first test. So we're going to add this one by one. So we're going to add it one by one. And we're going to also do that with the tests. One thing I want to hunt down, see how the module is Wordle CLI? We go to the package, it's almost like, where is Wordle underscore CLI? Where's the underscore coming from? So anyway, there's that going for us. And I will also mention, we're making some commits. Oh, and I also figured that out. Yesterday I tried to do git logs since like -2 hours, and instead it prints all these lines here. That's not since 2 hours. the language, it's actually 2 hours ago. So Git has some pretty good syntax for the since logic. But anyway, we're doing stuff, and the main thing is we haven't pushed anything to GitHub. This is our this is where GitHub is right here, origin main. So we've done we can also do it like this to see what we've done so far today. In this session, we can do something like this, something like that. But one thing I did want to do was at least add some stuff here. This is the README for the project. It's very bare. I'm just gonna put a few words in here. So this is a I'm just going to put something about how I wanted to learn this. I want to also put in a few words about what the structure will look like. So it'll look like, no wait, where's the design? Yeah. Wordle test. Yeah. But I'm actually going to do it like this. I'm going to do, I'll just copy these are just some images of Wordle games that I found on the internet. Just put this right in here just to kind of hit the point home. This person played the letter D twice. That's a wasted letter, but sometimes you need to do that to make a letter, to make a word. Put here T. Let me do this. Got it all, actually. And I'm going to find my playlist. Oh boy. This has nothing to do with the game, but it has everything to do with the brand. It's close enough. Yeah, let's just put it in there. Okay. Now, collection types. Let's go collection types. Okay, we're going to go back to the collection types, and we're going to add these letters in here. Now, this was frustrating when I was doing this. I know that a string, let me see if I can find it here. In many other languages, I know that I can do something like this. See, okay, let's do it this way. Var, let's pretend C letter equals oh, I already forgot how this is the syntax. Where's my project? My letter. It seems innocent enough, right? Doesn't it? Especially if you've come from a language like Java or Python. Well, watch this. Yeah, look at this crazy error. Cannot subscript string with an int, use String.Index. A subscript has been explicitly marked unavailable. And I went to the Swift forums with this. Let's see if it remembers. No. Where's my previous? Nope. Okay. I'm going to put here, let's put this right, subscript. I'll even just make it easier. When I look at this in the Swift forums, they talk about this issue. Oh, brother. Maybe I had... Anyway, what I was trying to show here was that it was confusing to me that I couldn't do this the way I was used to doing it in other languages, but the string type does show that you can do a for. Something like that. And when you do that, you can then create the individual letters for the array. I think that's going to work. I think I have one. No, that's correct. Now, we can't do this because what we've done is we've initialized the array to be empty. So in order to add something to the array, we need to do append. And again, there's analogs for this in other computer languages. So I was happy to see that something was making sense. So let me try that. Letter. My letter C. Now let's see what this looks like. Man, that worked. Let's assert that this. Let's make a test. We're now going to assert on these letters. Now, so we okay. This is what the test will look like, and I think we'll stop actually after trying to get this test to work. Once we have the row, we can then say so each element of the row in GuessRow, making a variable name and the array indexes makes sense, is important, but just follow along. I may rename this variable, but each element of the row is a letter, and each letter has a character, car. So we can say, like from the letter tests, something like that. Car is letter. So let's see what this does. We're basically just checking that the letters got in there. But the type GuessRow has no subscripts. Oh, right. Yeah. What we need is the row, which is the GuessRow, has GuessLetters, of which there's one, and that letter character is a letter. Let's see what this gives us. But you see what I'm going for. I'm just trying to see if I can get in there. But yeah, it's saying that the guessLetter is inaccessible due to an internal protection level. Now, this has everything to do with how you design this it's in the last class that I made, I was making everything public. Really, that may not be the best way to go. And already you can see we're sort of contorting ourselves to get at these letters. I mean, we're in a row. You shouldn't need to know a row at that state. So when I did this before, I made all of the letters. I made all of the variables public. I'm not sure I want to do that, and I'm gonna maybe think about that. But you could see that we are slowly building this part out. We're slowly. I'm gonna keep this here. We're slowly building this, and I think just to end on a success, let's just make it public, and we can but we're gonna have to come back to that, and we won't be streaming tomorrow, but Monday we'll come back to this. We may want to tighten down the class. Yeah, so it's now a warning. Let's see if the test passed, and it did. So let's commit all this. Yeah. This is the code that I implemented in my offline work, and I was unhappy then, and I'm mildly unhappy now. But let's just commit this, and maybe on Monday we can rethink how we do this. We can trust that the letter's there, right? So we don't have to test that part. We probably should test another function of the GuessRow, namely a function that prints these things. And I think maybe that's what we'll focus on next, and how to test it. So let's commit all this code. Updates init for GuessRow as test. But we'll see how that goes. Let's push that out, and if we do so we're getting there. I do want to think about this this letter. I think on Monday we'll just make it be, we'll remove the public accessibility, and we'll just make a function that prints the row, which is what we'll need for the game, and then we'll run the tests on that. There's no need to test the individual letters. We have tests for the individual letters. Anyway, this is a consideration. You think about it, I'll think about it, and we'll see where we're at on Monday. Thanks a lot.